Alright guys, Fulu coming to you with another video. I hope all is well with y'all. I hope y'all doing a good day, having a good morning thus far. But anyhow, man, I wanted to talk about this whole Olympic thing going on. You know, there's been I guess you can say on one hand double standards going on, but on another hand you can see why they're doing certain things. Well, I want to start off with Brianna Rollins. And for those of you guys who don't know Brianna Rollins, she is the current 110 hurdle or 100 meter hurdles Olympic gold medalist. She won the medal in Rio, and as of right now, she's not going to be able to defend the medal. The reason being, she is having a 5-year suspension, which means that not only is she going to miss this Olympics, but she's going to miss the next one in Paris as well. And the thing is about it is that upon reading further into her story and then what happened and things like that, it's like, I don't want to sound insensitive or anything like that, but she had to know it was coming to her. And the reason why she had to know it was coming to her is for the simple fact that she missed tests before. I think she missed a total of 3 tests. And then upon missing those 3 tests, she got banned for a year. So it's like the Olympic committees and these anti-doping committees are going to have no choice but be like, oh, you didn't learn yet? Okay, I got something for you. Now, granted, 5 years is a very long time. You know what I mean? Don't get it twisted. That means that she misses both Olympics, right? I mean, it would be more, I guess you can say, humane if they gave her like a year suspension or even 6 months suspension. Because my thing is, I'm not going to pass judgment, right? But my thing is this: if you know you're going to be tested, why wouldn't you just prepare yourself for being tested? Why wouldn't you just understand that that's going to come, that you're going to have to do tests? And so it's like, for me, I'm sorry to say this, and I know I'm going to sound insensitive to a lot of people, but for me, is she's missed tests in the past before, and so she's doing it again. So a little part of me does say, okay, what is she hiding? Now, I don't know. I don't understand the conditions of why she missed those tests. But at the same time, if you're a professional, you understand that you're going to have to take those tests no matter what. It's like in business. It's a business, and money is involved in this business. Reputations are involved in this business. So if if for example, you're not, let's just say you're not representing the business well, then of course people are going to feel some sort of way. And the crazy thing about the whole situation, and this is crazy, and I know this from being in the know of track and field and from competing myself, that if you test dirty, or if you are violating the terms of these testing, you have to return all the prize money too. And everything else goes back too. So if you know these things are at stake and that it's going to be very hard to maneuver the system, I know it's going to sound bad, but it's basically like a situation where you have to learn how to cry later. get the test out of the way, and then cry later. And that's just how it has to be, because if you don't do that, then you know what's going to happen. And what's going to happen is going to be far worse than if you would have just sucked it up, take it as a, just take one on the chin and just do it and just go on about your morning. I know it's easier said than done, but when you really look at the outcome of what she did and the choices she made, it's like, I don't know what to say. Man, it really is going to affect her in the long run. Someone told me something very important, and I still have to grasp my mind around this in the truest sense of the word. Like, really, really grasp it and really, really run with it. But one person told me a long time ago that consistency is the key to success. It's one of the basic keys to success. And that means like being consistent in everything. Consistent in waking up early, consistent in reading, consistent in your prayers and your daily devotions, consistent in every single last one of these things that we have to, that we're what we're involved in, that affects our livelihood, especially because that's her livelihood. She's a professional athlete. So if you're a professional athlete, then it's like, yo, bro, you kind of are going to be held to a standard. You know what I mean? And so if you're held to such a standard, you have to understand, you have to understand that it's not gonna, you're going to have to really fulfill the standard which is being asked for you. And I'm just like, I'm kind of just, I don't know, man. Because one can argue the race thing. One can definitely argue the race thing, right? One can use that argument. But at the same time, there was a woman who was, I think she was 5,000 meter runner. And she tested positive, but she did look juiced to the gills. I'm not gonna even lie to you. She looked juiced to the gills. But she blamed hers on a pork burrito from a food truck, which I think is BS, because ain't no amount of testosterone gonna be in a pork burrito where you test positive, right? So part of it, I guess you can say, is race. And I want to get into the reason why. So, the reason why I say part of it maybe has to do with race and another part of it really has to do with money is because on the race factor, let's face it, when it comes to track and field, right? Blacks are like, we run that crap, you know what I mean? In many categories. Whether it be the short distance, whether it be the jumps, whether it be the long distance, whether it be the middle distance, we run that crap, bro. Like, for real. Whether it be a black from Jamaica, whether it be a black from Africa, whether it be a black from any of these places, we run that crap, man. And you know this, man. So, I mean, you have to look at it in the sense that they're trying to change the guard up. And they're trying to make the playing field a little bit more even for people who, I mean, let's just face it, bro. I'm going to just keep it completely honest with you. They're trying to make the playing field more even for people who, like, if anything, would not be able to compete on that level. Because I'm going to tell you something. They even, I want to say they even are doing this thing about the testosterone level. They're saying that if you're a woman and your testosterone level is too high, and it's not at the natural limit, then you can't compete. And they did that to two athletes from Africa. One who just smashed the under 20 400 meter record, and another one, I believe. And then you have that one from South Africa, which they always, had under scrutiny. And it's sad, but, that's what they did. So I can say, yeah, race could play a factor, right? Now, the other factor, though, however, is the fact that, man, it's confusing what they're doing in the Olympics. All I can say is it's downright confusing what's going on in the Olympics. It's like making my head twist a little bit. But look at the fact that in New Zealand, a man has not even had the necessary procedures to quote unquote consider himself a woman. Personally, I'll never consider someone who gets a sex change a full woman. I'll never do that. Okay? So you look at that situation, and yeah, the person from New Zealand is still going to compete as a woman in weightlifting in the Olympics, and they're letting that slide. They're saying, okay, it's okay. Yeah, we'll give that to you. So, you look at the fact that here's this white dude from New Zealand who hasn't even taken no estrogen or nothing like that to change their sex, and they still get to compete as a woman. Whereas these African sisters who have not even, done anything wrong, or just happen to be having higher testosterone, they don't get to compete in the Olympics. So there is a racial factor there, for sure. There's a racial factor. Real talk. Now, the question, there's also, of course, the reputation factor. I think one of the other things that they're actually doing is they don't want that to be seemed like okay. They don't want that to be like, okay, they missed tests, no problem. Okay, missed tests. Yeah. No worries. We'll let them miss the test. They didn't get caught dirty, so we'll let them miss the test. That's what I think they're after too. That's what one of the things that I think they do is they're like, okay, well, they didn't miss tests, or they missed tests, so we're still gonna let them pass because they didn't test dirty. So I think what it is they're trying to avoid that ripple effect. That because, for example, if it was okay to miss tests for all these athletes, then probably every athlete would have missed tests, because then, I mean, when you look at it, who's to say if you're cheating or not if you're missing tests, right? So you have to look at it from that perspective too. So that's why they didn't let that crap slide with Brianna Rollins. But I think it didn't have to be that harsh. I believe that it didn't have to be so harsh as they had it. But I guess they're trying to send the stern message that it's not going to be tolerated. But I mean, it's like, yo, dealing with an abortion is something I can't speak from a woman's perspective, because it's the simple fact that I've never You know what I mean? I ain't no woman. I can't speak from her perspective. I mean, I don't know what comes with it. Maybe a woman can like put me on game and tell me if, trauma does come with, abortions and things like that. Maybe someone can tell me, right? And put me on to let me know, okay, this is what happens. Other than that, I can't really speak on it, right? So, with all that being said, though, I guess the Olympics are going to be interesting still. But you have to wonder who's going to take the mantle now that she's not in there. Now, I want to say that if I had to choose one in the 100-meter women's hurdles, I would say that, yeah, Kendra Harrison, if she keeps her poise, if she keeps her composure, if she keeps her cadence in those hurdles, she can do it. The medal is hers to take. The medal is hers. But the thing is, she has to show up for these big events. Because I think what it is with her is it's nerves sometimes. I think with her, she gets nerves, and then because she gets nerves, she kind of like, she kind of falls apart, right? Well, I think
new text message from +12136102499.
Man, some business is sending me some text message. I'm on my way to the business, so that's why it like interrupted me. But anyhow, she has to keep herself together mentally if she's going to win. She's the world record holder. So if she's the world record holder, then there should be an added incentive for her on her part to just go out there and do her thing and win. Believe it or not, none of the former medalists are going to be in the Olympics this year. Yeah. To be honest though, like if Nia Ali, if she was going to be in the Olympics, I think she would have had a fair chance at winning probably the gold medal. Yeah. But I just want to say, with these testing and stuff like that, they're not playing games. They're not messing around at all. They're taking it very serious. And I mean, my thoughts go out to Brianna. It does go out to her. And I just hope, for example, that maybe perhaps in her suspension she develops some different things that circle around the track and field. Perhaps maybe she can develop some different avenues, build her brand in the meantime, because when it comes, I think that's what it's going to come down to, is building your brand. Because Allyson Felix, she's doing that right now by having her own shoe and things like that, and also having her own clothing as well. She's building a brand around her running. So that's a smart move by her. So I think other athletes should take heed to doing that. And maybe this time that Brianna Rollins is having can get her to do that, right? But I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I'm still looking forward to the Olympics, but I mean, it's going to be kind of it's going to be kind of maybe dull because the head people are not in it, right? But anyhow, man, let me know what y'all think about this whole thing. It's kind of crazy, but let me know what y'all think. Let me know if you think that suspension was right, or do you think the suspension was wrong? But anyhow, man, that's all I got. Full of signing out. Like, subscribe, and Jada.